How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Airsoft review. I am Tyrant, and today I am bringing you the Echo 1 M28. This is a spring, bolt-action sniper rifle. Yeah, never thought I'd actually own one, and now I do. And I'm really happy that this is the first one I've ever gotten a hold of. I've had a very negative opinion of sniping in Airsoft because, for the most part, I see a lot of people out there with like the Well M700 and that other one, the JG. There's that JG version of whatever the hell they make. It's what everyone gets. You know, I want to be a sniper. I'm gonna get a hold of this. It's $90. I'm gonna run out there and I'm gonna be a sniper. This, on the other hand, this is a bit different. This is really well put together. I've always had a very strong liking towards Echo 1. Everything I've had of theirs has been out of this world, amazing. My saw at this point is Echo 1. I love it to death. This thing is Echo 1, and I think it really holds up as being one of the most durable bolts I've had my hands on personally. The construction of it is fantastic, I will say that. The barrel is entirely metal. The bipod, which does come with the gun, is also mostly metal. There's a few parts which feel just a little bit plasticky, but nothing too bad. The bolt itself is indeed metal. The body down here, it's just some form of polymer, plastic, whatever. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not terribly good at that kind of material stuff. Someone will correct me on it. I don't care. But this gun just has quite a few features which I'm really impressed with. I am by no means a sniper on the field. I have never ever run with a gun like this until recently, just to try it out. Everything has been standard AEG, squad automatic weapon. I've run with an SMG a few times. It's just how I operate. I've never really had much of a desire to get a hold of something like this until this opportunity came around. I found someone in the local area who was selling it, who basically got it and put it in a closet. It remained untouched. They bought a few accessories for it and then had to get rid of it. So as you see it right now, it's not how it's going to look if you actually get it new. The scope does not come with the gun. You're going to have to buy a scope on your own. And that's a bit of a jump because you really want a good scope. This one right here is about an $80 scope, 80 to 90 or something. It's a really good scope. I'm actually going to do a mini review on that later on. It also has been fitted with this Force Recon silencer-ish thing, because it doesn't actually silence. I guess you could just call it a barrel extension. But it is actually made specifically for this gun, and I really like it. Basically, my problem with a lot of silencers is you put it on the end of your gun, you know, it doesn't exactly do anything for it, though. It's kind of like a hollow tube with maybe some foam on the inside of it, so if your BB is just slightly off, if your gun's not upgraded all the way, it's going to hit the inside of the foam. You're going to get a nice little plume of foam out the front end of the gun. At least that's what happened to me. This, however, right about there is where it sits on the gun. It goes back a little bit, and basically the inner barrel actually extends into this. Like, this has its own inner barrel, essentially. So there's nothing for it to go inside and catch on, if that makes any sense. It's just a longer version of that. So for that reason, if you want a silencer on your gun, specifically this one, I think this is the way to go. It has kind of dinged up the gun a little bit in taking it off and on, so if you want to prevent that, be extremely careful. I don't care as much because I'm not worried too much about resale of this thing, because I kind of want to keep it, actually. So there is that. The bipod, that's kind of the mixed bag, honestly. That is probably the lowest quality part of this gun, because I actually took it to a game to field it. It was just a little local skirmish. Actually, video online prior to this, or at least 2 videos back, Silverton skirmish. That was actually the skirmish where I fielded this, and in that you can actually see where the bipod breaks. Yeah, I was walking to the field with this gun on my back, and the bipod came loose, lost some pieces, and now it is just barely sitting on there, as you can tell. If I pull it back that way any further, it's just going to come off. So right now it's just resting on there. So that is something to consider. This is the bipod that comes with the gun, and it broke the first game I took it out to. I'm not sure if this is made by Echo 1 or what the case is with that, but I feel that's the worst part. The rail system on top is extremely sturdy. I've seen quite a few guns that just have a bit of rail wobble. The S&T Tavor is kind of in that realm at this point. I've had it for a little over a year now, and top rail's getting a little bit wobbly. This seems sturdy as hell. I love it. On this end of the gun, which you can see, you have the hop-up adjust right there, and that's really fantastic. I love being able to do that in the middle of a game. I don't have to unscrew anything. Couldn't be simpler. And right here, just for aesthetics, you got the Echo 1 trades. You know, it's a nice little touch. I really like their trademark, so I'm really happy that's there. Now, I gotta say, the price of this gun is a little bit pricey in comparison to other starter sniper rifles. As I've said, they're probably in the 80 to 120 range, and they're going to suck. This one is about 175, so it is a bit more, but I feel like if you really, really want to be a sniper, this is probably the best way to go. At least from what I've seen. I've had my hands on a few gas sniper rifles, and I will say I prefer spraying over gas, because if you live in an area similar to me, which is Oregon, and it gets cold out, gas is not something you can rely on. Spraying you can rely on a lot more. Granted, you have to stick with the bolt action as opposed to semi-automatic, but it's just something you have to live with. And if you want that realistic nature of gaming, go for it. It works. Now, I don't think it works as well if you get like a spring action SVD, because that is a gun that is semi-automatic and it's been converted to bolt action for the sake of airsoft. So that's a little unrealistic. For this, it still works fantastically. It also does come with 2 magazines. Though someone pointed this out to me, which I didn't even catch. The magazine is not where it's actually supposed to be on the real version of the M700, even though this is the M28. It's modeled after the M700. Yeah, the magazine is actually supposed to be here, but it's here because the breech on the gun is right here, which is directly under where the mag's supposed to be. But they put it forward because airsoft reasons and internal such. And so they replaced it instead with a hatch, which decides to come open when it wants to come open. So that's kind of one of the negative aspects about this gun, is I've used it during the game, and I'll suddenly notice there's this little metal hatch just swinging around. And of course, now that I want to open it, it doesn't want to open. So that's something to just consider, is that if you want realistic, you know, the mag isn't in the correct spot. It's far forward on the gun. There's a hatch right here, which is just a little wonky, and I kind of actually just wish it wasn't there. I might just tape it shut. Safety is located on the exact same place it would be on the real steel version. It is right behind the bolt. And overall, I think I would have to give this gun probably about a 7 out of 10. It gets a bit lower of a score just because I'm really, really picky when it comes to sniping and airsoft. I think for the most part, most guns don't even come near what they need to be a reliable sniper rifle. Perfect example. During the game, I was shooting at someone. I was hitting them in their jacket, and they didn't feel it. I could see the BB hitting them very clearly. I could see it hit their jacket and then ricochet off. They just didn't feel it because it was far enough away that the BB was starting to lose velocity, and they just didn't notice it. It wasn't their fault. They just couldn't tell. So I think that's kind of one of the biggest downfalls. Also, this thing is damn bulky, and that's a hell of a thing to consider when you're trying to build your loadout. You know, you got to have this, which is useful entirely for long range, so you have to pack a secondary or a PDW, personal defense weapon, some sort of SMG like the Vector. Yes, that is a freaking reliable secondary for a sniping class. That's why it's called a PDW. I'm sorry. But yeah, I did, however, get this thing chronoed, and I will say Airsoft GI is lying through their teeth about what it chronos at, because for me, I believe it's chronoing about 470, something like that. I do have clips of me shooting it through a chrono, so we'll cut to that in a second, and you'll be able to see what it actually chronos at. But they say it chronos at 500 to 530. That is not the case. With the just standard BBs, .2, .23s, it was chronoing about 470, kind of jumping up to 480-ish every now and again. But yeah, it's not chronoing what they say it chronos at. Also, this mag release is extremely sensitive, as in I almost lost a mag during the game. Mag goes in, you just barely tap it, and the mag falls out. So, that's kind of leading me to feeling that this is a very mixed bag gun. I mean, first impressions, the construction of it is fantastic. It feels amazing, it's really fun to handle and play with, and just taking it outside and plinking around with is a lot of fun. And I will actually cut to video of some actual test firing of it, so you'll get to see that. But in the world of actually using it in a game, I think it kind of fails in most regards that entry-level sniper rifles will fail at. So if you want to get this thing shooting like top of the line, you're going to have to throw some other stuff into it. You're going to have to get a better inner barrel for it. I would say probably a better spring, and you're going to want to get it shooting more to that 550 range. And that's kind of a tough goal to get at. Or you can see about your local airsoft fields if they'll allow it, and get an HPV system for a gas gun, which allows you to just dial in your FPS. It's kind of iffy in regards to if you're actually going to be allowed to use it, and it's really expensive and kind of a pain in the ass to go for. But if you are just planning on doing little local skirmishes and you want just a sniper rifle to have, you know, I would highly recommend this. I would also highly recommend it to someone who literally just wants a bolt in their arsenal, kind of like I did. It was a good deal, so I jumped on it. And I just want that option of having a bolt in my arsenal. Also, it's a great loaner gun, especially for people that I trust. There's a guy who had his loadout kind of separated over time. You know, he did his time in the military, he came back, and now he's kind of out of touch with where his arsenal is. So I have no problem handing this over to him because he's familiar with it. So for that regard, it's something that's really good option for loaning to someone, as you don't need to worry about battery. You know, it doesn't use that much ammo. If you want to just say, here, stick in this location, you know, plink at enemies, you'll do fine. So it's also a great way to possibly be a deterrent for people that want to invest in a sniper rifle. You know, you can loan them this and say, here, try this out, see how you like it. So I could recommend this to quite a few people, you know. Teams, you know, if you want to actually invest in a team gun or like a team loadout and have people choose their gun, you know, this is not a bad option. I gotta say, there are aspects of it that do kind of bring down the score. Touchy mag release, low quality bipod, and the fact that the FPS is not quite what they say it is. But again, there are accessories you can buy for it. So if you want to customize it, you do have that option. It does have the barrel extension silencer option, and of course it comes with a rail fitted on the top, so you can throw whatever you want on there. I will say, one aspect of it which is kind of neat is the end of the stock. You can customize the length of it. There is a little circular cylinder. I know that's repetitive. I don't care. Anyways, you rotate that. It slowly extends the stock just ever so slightly. It's nothing too terribly impressive, but it's just kind of a neat little feature. It's something that you don't see on a lot of guns. So yeah, with that said, I would stick with this being a solid 7. Again, it gets a low score because it is indeed a sniper rifle, but the construction of it definitely pumps up the score. So, thank you for watching, and with that, now let's go take a look at the FPS and shooting the damn thing.
Okay, let me reset it.
I'd like to be flying that.
There we go. 475.
There you go.
Go for it. 477.
Okay. All right.
First shot was.
Alright, so now just to give you an idea of what this thing's like when you actually field it, we've got our shooting platform up here. Target is that horse trailer, which is about 120 to 130 feet away. No, there's no horses in it right now, I swear. So, safety is now off. We've got stock fully extended, bipods extended, and let's see how we do. Okay, so zoomed in right now, you can see the cover of the front end of the horse trailer, that little white section. That's going to be our target. Again, this is about 120, 130 feet away. And here we go. A little bit off. That's better. And there's number 2. Number 3. Number 4. 5. Oh, a little high there. All right, now we can switch up targets. Let's go for that spare tire. Let's see what we can do with that. Let's see if this will work. Oh, a little far left. Number 2. Oh, barely hit it. We'll go ahead and count that. Why not? There we go. Dead center. Little high. Go ahead and adjust the hop up. I do really love the fact that the hop up is right on the side and you can adjust it just as you want, right on the field. And this does also give you an idea of travel time. As I said, this is about 120, 130 feet, and distance between fire and hitting the target you can obviously hear. So just gives you a basic idea. And this might be the end of the mag. Oh, still a little bit high. Let's go ahead and adjust that some more. Oh, come on. There we go. Right on the edge. Close. And I am shooting in somewhat of an area which is susceptible to wind. So if you're in the middle of the forest, you might have better luck. Oh, damn. Yep, that's it.